Hello, everyone. And it's a glorious day here. It's lovely and warm, and we're very sunny in ourselves. And I'd like to introduce the wonderful Ray Calnan. So, Ray is here as a ray of sunshine. I'm excited to find out more about the work she does. She's into radiant angelic work, and she has a very soothing way about her. So, it's going to be nice. So, hello, Ray. So, tell us all about yourself then. What are you doing and how do you work with your clients?
Well, I'm a guide who helps people remember their divine presence so that they can heal their past, find their purpose, and create their future. So they can raise their consciousness, come out of their spiritual closet, which is so important nowadays because so many people sort of like hide away from actually embracing their spiritual truth, which helps them get clarity on their reason for being here, and the next steps that they can take on their journey to fulfill their purpose in this lifetime. So that's kind of like how I like to help people, an overall overarching way of looking at it. But if I narrow it down, then I use a mix of individual modalities to do that, which is angelic Reiki, future life progression, past life regression, guided meditations, angel oracle cards. And they're all the things I like to mix and work together with people to create the most perfect journey for them that they can take to remember their divine presence and step onto their spiritual path.
Sounds wonderful. Sounds very encompassing as well, because anyone who's on a spiritual path, you may be, if you're watching this now, you may be somebody who's new to this kind of spirituality, or you may be somebody who's been on a journey for some time. But either way, it's a new, fresh experience every time you come across this kind of energy work, as Ray does. So that sounds really good. What brought you to this then, Ray? You know, there are people watching this who may not have experienced anything like what you're offering. So, what made you come into this field, and how did you come to this awakening?
Oh, well, it's really since childhood. I was one of those lucky children whose parents had no particular religious views or anything like that. So we were allowed to be as we were, we were neither christened or anything like that. But, my mum did palmistry, my aunt did tarot cards, my dad was happy to take my mum to spiritualist churches when we were kids. Obviously, me and my sister had to go along. So it's always been there in the background. And when I was younger, I dabbled in runes and the tarot cards. And at one point at school, I held space while they were doing an Ouija board. Didn't know it at the time that that's what it was. It's only when I look back now that it's like, oh, they obviously saw something, because I didn't want to participate, but they said, can you come and make sure we're safe? And now when I look back, that's what I do in this lifetime, is I hold the space for people on their journey. And then with all sort of like everything that goes on in your life, it was always there in the background. I went for the odd tarot readings. Then I went for a reading that showed me going on a life-changing journey. It's like, oh, that sounds good. So I thought Lonely Planet, went on, thinking I was going to Sri Lanka, article on Peru. I read that article, thought no more of it. A couple of days later, turned on the TV, and there was a documentary about Peruvian bears by Stephen Fry. Because of my background, it's like, ooh, a little bit of a coincidence there. So I got some brochures, looked at them, and it's like, I can't afford it. If I'm going to do it, travel around Peru, I want to do it properly. Thought no more of it. Then a little while later, I was remortgaging, and both mortgage companies made a mistake and they had to give me compensation, the exact amount of one of these trips. Exact amount.
Yeah.
So I booked it, and then just before I was due to go, the girl I was working with at the time, her grandfather passed away, and she came in on the Monday after clearing A's attic on the Sunday, and she brought with her an old Peruvian map and a Lonely Planet guidebook to Peru.
I love Lonely Planet. That I wouldn't go anywhere
Yeah.
without Lonely Planet.
Exactly. And it was just like all these things that slotted into place, and it was a life-changing journey. I mean, when I did the 4-day Inca trail up to Machu Picchu,
Wow.
when I was actually on one of the platforms, I actually had, it was only a few seconds, but I went back to a past life where I was actually addressing Incan people below me. And there was loads of other things that happened. But I came back to this country and it was like, it's October time and I was sitting in the office, and obviously in the UK, it was rainy, dark, early, miserable, horrible weather. And I was sitting in the office thinking, I would much rather be outside than sitting here in front of a computer. And it's kind of like what started me on looking at all the different things that I could possibly do. I'd already been interested in angels anyway, you know, they'd been there for a long time. And again, it was through all these coincidences, these synchronicities. I came across Angelic Reiki, did my 1 and 2 Angelic Reiki. Didn't think anything more of it because I had travelled away to Twickenham to actually do it, to do the training. It's like,
Okay.
that's a bit of a trek over 3 days, going there, coming back, going back. And you know, it's like if there was someone nearer, that would be ideal. Then again, as all these synchronicities do, that lady who I did the training with, she did a retreat down in Glastonbury. I went to that. I met a lady down there called Alexandra Wenman, who was the editor of Prediction magazine at the time. She had a friend called
Oh.
Sabby, who was into angels. I then followed Sabby. She then had a workshop at the Angel in Islington. Whilst I was there, I got talking to a couple of women who said, well, yeah, there's an angelic Reiki practitioner called Ananda in Blackheath.
Very close.
Contacted her and ended up literally doing 3 and 4, practitioner and master teacher, literally within months of each other. Working with that for a long while, but the past life stuff has always sort of like been there in the back of my mind, you know, even since when I was a kid. I was always fascinated by how the mind worked. And I then thought, okay, well, if I'm going to do past life regression, do a hypnotherapy course. But I now found out you don't have to do a hypnotherapy course to do past life regression, but I did that anyway. And it's like, there's something missing here. We're going backwards in time, but can we go forwards in time? And then I came across Angelic, future life regression. So I did the training with that, which also teaches past life regression and has a business aspect to it as well. And you know, Angelic, she's very good on the business side. You know, she's very good business wise. So the business side of it was really good as well. And I trained to become a practitioner, and then I trained to be a teacher. So I teach both Angelic Reiki and future life regression, past life regression, and that kind of like brought in the whole element of working together. And I integrated my card readings into that. I integrated the guided meditations into that. And it works out that when I, you know, help clients, it's not just one thing, but the other things sort of like merge into it as well, which gives them more of a fuller picture, a package of, they're not just doing one thing, but other elements have come in as well, which helps them see a lot clearer about where they're going and helps with their healing.
Fascinating. What a journey. I think this happens on this path because it's a very rich path. There's lots of different ways of coming to a spiritual understanding of where we are positioned within this and what our purpose is, etc. And it's fascinating to hear your story. What were you going to say? Sorry.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say, and you know, if people want, you know, a very good way if people want to find out what their life purpose is to look back at your childhood and what you did. Because when I look back now to my childhood, I was always an avid reader. I was always telling and making stories up, creating stories with my dolls. I'm a guide now. I guide people on their journey. I was interested in looking how things worked. You know, I got a microscope. My parents bought me. And that time you could have scalpels. I've even got a scalpel. I've got a star on my finger. I cut my finger and it's like, I can look at my blood. And obviously, with all the work I do, I look into how things work, how they do it. I was fascinated by kaleidoscopes. The work I do now, geometry. I was interested in the, the moon and the stars, looking at the sky, clouds, etc. Got a telescope. When I worked with the cosmic stuff, multidimensional stuff, that was all part of that. Again, when I held that space for my colleagues at work. So when you, sorry, at school. So when you look back at the small things that you were interested in or enjoyed as a child, quite often they are the sort of like stepping stones to what you were supposed to be doing in your life now, because you did them without realizing what you were doing them for.
Yeah, I quite agree. I totally agree. I always find that when people are lost, they say, I have no purpose. I don't know what my purpose is. I always say to them, well, what were you interested in as a child? What were the first things that you were exploring when you were young? So that I totally agree. It's interesting, isn't it? So what's the most benefit that somebody would get from working with you then? What kind of things have you seen transform in people?
Their confidence, the confidence in their ability to actually walk their spiritual path, to even talk about, come out of that spiritual closet. There are people that have initially come to me that, yeah, I don't really talk about it, I kind of like it, but I don't really, to coming out, yeah, I was I did a talk the other day. I had a group of friends round, and I was talking about it, and they all accepted it. I had no judgment whatsoever. So it's sort of like the confidence of doing their stuff, of listening to the advice. A future life progression I did with a lady who has got her own business out in Morocco now called Yala. And we did a future life progression, and she saw herself working and living in Morocco.
Oh.
And that was sort of like 5 years in the future. Within a year, she had quit her job, moved to Morocco, now runs this business out there. Has even been on TV with Jay McDonald.
Oh.
And that's because she saw her future, understood what her future could be, and she took the steps to do it. So it kind of gave her the confidence to actually, I'm actually going to take this stream and actually, do it.
So there's an empowerment that comes from knowing, having an awareness of your path, and a lack of empowerment when we don't. Because I do meet a lot of people who say, I'm just drifting in life. I'm just going with the flow because I don't really feel I have a purpose. I'm just a mum, or I'm just a gran, or I've not ever known what my purpose is, and I don't get very excited about things. And I think it's such a shame when life is so expansive and so exciting for us. um, how how do you think it is just confidence then that it gives them, or does it touch them somewhere?
I think it's the confidence, but it also goes deeper than that. A lot of the things that stop us from, being that confident, stepping out, empowering ourselves, quite often can be things from this lifetime, previous lifetimes, things that we aren't consciously aware of, and also social conditioning, because nobody is just, we are all unique individuals here for a purpose, living our life on earth, and we need to make the most of it that we can. You're not just a mum, you've actually brought, little people into the
New
world.
life.
New life. So you're not just a mum. Your purpose may have been to bring those children into this life, because they are going to go on to do greater things. So they're never just is. But when people understand that, and they've cleared the stuff from the past, and they've seen, what their future could possibly be, it really brings them back to the present, and the present is so important, and that is where we change and we bring everything into our life that we need and we want. And so that's when you get the confidence, the empowerment to actually go, this is what I'm doing now. This is me. This is my true authentic self.
Yes, authentic self. That's
Yeah.
something that people grasp for, isn't it? They wonder who they are. I know that working with older women who are going through menopause and change of life and having a choice whether they, especially if they're a little bit older and come through retirement, it's kind of, well, who am I now? And I think the spiritual path shows you that. And it's never too late, is it? So what's new then? Are you doing some events this year? It's 2024.
It
We're
is
working to the next century.
2024. I know we definitely are. Yes, I might be running another retreat down in Glastonbury this year. That's a possibility, but I've got so much other stuff I'm on. You know, I love running retreats down. They're taking people down to Glastonbury. I've been traveling up and down there by myself for over 20 years, and now that I take people down there on retreats, it's absolutely amazing. But I'm going to I'm teaching future life progression. I'm doing that training in July. I'm just finishing off the practitioner and the master teacher for Angelic Reiki, but I'll be starting the training again with Angelic Reiki 1 and 2 in August, and going through 1 and 2, 3 and 4, practitioner and master teacher. I'm exhibiting at Detling at the wellness event in June. Yeah, I'm going to be down there offering Angelic Reiki. And then on the Sunday, I'm actually going to be doing a talk. And last year it was in the air-conditioned room, which was so nice because it was so hot. And it's like, I should have said to people, come and listen to my talk. We're in an air-conditioned room, where I'll be talking about remembering your divine presence and taking people on a journey into a multidimensional world. I've got the Feed Your Soul Wellbeing event that's taking place in July, the Little Horse Yard in Horton Kirby. So that's an outdoor.
Yes, it's nice there.
Oh, it's lovely. You know, you go to the event and you have all these different practitioners and stalls, but you also get to spend time with horses, alpacas. That's absolutely amazing. I'm also working on a program which I'm going to be looking for. It's going to be for sort of like beta testers or people that actually want to take the course. It will be offered at a discount to what I would normally offer, so that I can work with them to create the most perfect course. So I've got the ideas, what I'm doing. So I'll be offering that out to people that they can, pay, not pay as much as the original program's going to be. So I'm working on that.
Yeah.
Obviously, my show, Angels and Destiny. There's just so much.
People need to follow you. And where can they find you, the audience now? Where's the best place for them to connect with you, follow you, and find out more information?
Obviously my website, which is www.radientangelenergy.co.uk. YouTube, Radiant Angel Energy. That's where I've got free guides, meditations on there. And that's where my show Angels and Destiny goes live every week. I've also got guided meditations on Insight Timer under Caroline Calnan. I'm on Facebook, Radiant Angel Energy, Instagram, Radiant Angel Energy. So
yeah,
there shouldn't be anywhere else that has Radiant Angel Energy. You can find me anywhere by just typing that in.
It's very exciting. I think the aspect of having some nice meditation on YouTube with you and listening into your podcast that you do, your program, that would be great. So yeah, on that last note then, can you give us some sort of idea of what you would love people to get from you to feel on a feeling level? What would you love people to feel?
I would love people to feel that they belong, that they are part, they are part of life. They are part of the journey. One of the main things I do, I have a membership, and with the clients I've worked with, it's to remind them that they're not alone. There is a community out there. We are here to be individuals, but also to be part of the collective. And I want people to feel that they are part of that collective, that they are being heard, that they are being supported and guided on their journey. so that they can feel that they've achieved what they wanted to in this lifetime, with all that support around them.
Very supportive. That sounds great. That's lovely. Well, thank you, Ray, for telling us about your story. I think a lot of people can relate to aspects of it, if not all of it. And it's amazing how many people do start going off trekking out into the world, but not everybody does. People just stay at home and then find their inner passion in themselves. And often that's through creativity, isn't it? And things like that, music. But it's wonderful to have some kind of reflection, some kind of support and guidance. And I think that's why people don't feel they can go further with their journey and understanding, because it's a bit overwhelming at times. So it's good to have support. But thank you very much then. So if you are interested in contacting Ray and would like to know more about Reiki healing, angelic Reiki, if you like cards or you've never really looked at how a card can help you to understand yourself, maybe delve into that with her. And thank you again then, Ray.
Well, I tell you what, before we go, I do actually have my cards with me. So shall I pull a card for you?
Oh, that would be very lovely.
pull a card for you and everyone who's watching.
Okay.
So whatever time they watch this,
yes,
there'll be a card. So
thank you.
But to Victoria and everyone who watches this, no matter when they watch it, need to know for their highest good at this and that moment in time. Okay, so we have got ascending the mountain, keep going forward. So it's really confirmation for you, Victoria, that, you are ascending that mountain at the moment. Keep going forward. Don't allow any hard parts of that mountain to get in your way. The path, you can see it there, is so clear there for you. Even though it bends slightly, you are ascending that mountain, so keep going forward. Don't stop. And again, it's for everyone who's watching this. You are ascending that mountain. Things are moving forward for you now. Just keep going. Don't give up.
That's very helpful. Thank you. I hope it's been helpful for you too, everyone. For me personally, just to give you some feedbacks, as I see mountains, as soon as you've got to the top of one mountain, you find out you're on the first step of another mountain because the journey doesn't stop. But
oh no.
And mountains give you the clearest view and the most wonderful, spectacular view of life as it's been and where it's going and what's around you and who else is in your world with you. It's the perspective of being on a mountain path is amazing. And it makes me want to go traveling again as well with that. As soon as I saw it, I thought, yes, I do. I'm trying to make plans at the moment to be more, to travel more, basically. And I have an idea of how that will manifest, so I will keep going. And I'm excited. So I hope everybody else is excited. How does that card reflect in your life? What a beautiful pack. Is that one of your own packs, or is that...
No, I haven't created my deck yet. I am going to be, but I haven't yet. No, this is Denise Lynn's Sacred Traveller Oracle cards.
I loved it. Denise Lynn, yes.
Yeah, yeah, she does beautiful cards.
Yes. Oh, well, thank you so much then, Ray. That's really touched me. And I feel very grateful for that. Thank you. What a lovely way to end. So, everyone, I'll see you again soon. And I hope you get in touch with Ray quickly just to find out more. And definitely follow her. And you'll be surprised and interested, I'm sure. Bye then, Ray.
All right, thank you. Bye.
Bye.